Amanda's not here, Gene. It's Taylor, who you met at the last meeting. He's taking the helm today.
Okay.
And then
Hi,
we
Taylor.
also have Jessica supporting as well.
Excellent. Okay. So would you like me to call to order, Taylor, or I guess I'll start. So I am calling to order the regularly scheduled meeting of Tuesday, February 21st, 2022 of the Architectural Commission at 7 p.m. This meeting is being recorded. Would you like to take attendance? Taylor?
Sure, I could do that. I think I've got that up. Matthew Atkins,
Here.
John Marshall,
Here.
I think I saw
You
her.
muted,
Laura?
you muted yourself for a second.
Me?
Oh, Laura?
Yep, I'm here.
John Plunkett? No, John? Okay, Alan Reuter
Here.
and Jeannie Sylvester.
It's Jean and I am here.
Oh, Jean, sorry.
Is anyone else in attendance that would like to make themselves known for the record?
Hi, I'm Bob DePalma from the Softway Fish Co. Can you hear me yet?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Bob.
I'm Anthony
you.
Pecoraro, representing the applicant, Mr. Lazzara, of 1145 Steepleview.
Joseph
I'm sorry, the
Lazar.
name again was, the name again?
Anthony Pecoraro.
I'm Eleni Pecoraro, and I am representing the 1145 Steepleview project as well.
So are you the homeowners?
No, I am the homeowner, Joseph Lazara.
Oh, hi, you're here too.
Hello.
Okay, nice to see you. So can you tell me where you two are from, just so we know?
Are you legal counsel or are you developers?
So I'm the developer. Eleni is the architect. And we have designed the home that's going to be presented on 1145 Steepleview. We do multifamily and single family, in this case, custom home. That's what we're presenting here. I don't know if you guys want me to get into that part,
No.
or did you guys have a meeting? Yeah, okay.
No, we'll get into that in a minute. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you for identifying yourself. I'm just going to make a brief announcement. The village president has determined that due to conditions relating to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is not feasible to make the village hall accessible to the Architectural Commission or to the public for this meeting. So do we have any visitor business, anything not on the agenda that anyone would like to discuss? Any general comments? I don't think so. Has anyone submitted any emails or anything for consideration prior to the meeting?
There hasn't been anything submitted, Madam Chair.
Okay, all right. So then I think the first item on the agenda is we can get into reviewing and approving the minutes before, but I would just like to take the opportunity to welcome our new commissioner and thank him for volunteering. We are very happy to have him and very grateful for him for volunteering and are looking forward to working with him and are extremely pleased to have someone with his experience and expertise working with us. So thank you.
Thank you.
So the first item on the agenda is the review and approval of minutes of the January 18th, 2022 special meeting. Does anyone have any comments on those minutes?
I do, on page 2 of 6. The paragraph towards the bottom where it says Chairwoman Sylvester. Do you see it?
Mhm.
Hold on one second. put notes on here. On the last sentence, she also referenced the other residences in the neighborhood. She also referenced that the other residences in the neighborhood have more variation. And sentence before that where it says expanses of stucco that read like blank wall, that read like a blank wall. And then on the next paragraph after that, in the second sentence, it says like large areas, but if you look at the square footage.
Does anyone else have any other comments on the minutes from the meeting?
No.
Can I have a motion then to approve the minutes
So moved.
and a second?
Second motion.
I think we need a roll call vote, Taylor.
Marshall,
Aye.
Reuter,
Aye.
Aikens,
Aye.
Mikolajczyk,
Aye.
Plunkett, or not here, Sylvester.
Aye.
Motion passes.
So we are now moving on to item 1 on the agenda, which is, I'm sorry, excuse me, motion 2, which is consideration of a request to construct a new single-family residence at 1145 Steepleview Drive within the R2 Single Family Residential District submitted by Joseph Lazara. Taylor, would you like to give us a little background on the project?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to have Miss Marvin take this one. Jess, are you able to share your screen?
Let me see if I can do that. 1 second. Okay.
I can see your screen fine, Jess. Thank you.
Okay. So this is our staff presentation for 1145 Steepleview Drive. Here is a location map of the Steepleview Estates neighborhood. It's outlined in blue, and where that star is a lot that the proposed single family residence is going to be located at. Here is an aerial, and again, the same thing with the blue outline is of the neighborhood, and the star is the proposed location of the residence. A little history. John Ulrich proposed a development called Steeple View Estates. He purchased 18.16 acres on the south side of Route 53 and north of Manassas Lane. Zoned R2 single-family residential. Development of this neighborhood consists of 9 single-family residential lots. It also contains an outlot with wetlands and an open space. The final PUD was approved on November 11, 2008. The first 2 houses were both constructed in 1900. The third and fourth house were constructed between 2014 and 2009 or 2016.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? Is that 1900 correct?
Yes. Here is the site plan of the proposed residence. And this is the elevations. This is the front elevation, which is also the south. This is the rear. This is the right side, which is the east. The left side, which is the west. And here is a list of the materials for this residence and where they will be located. And here are a bunch of other elevations of the house. And then I'll go through the list of the outlots and the lots in this neighborhood. So this is the outlot A. And this is one of the first 2 houses that was located within this neighborhood.
So
This
Jess,
is the
that would
second.
be one of the 1900 homes, right?
Yes. Mhm. And this is the second one. And then 1140 Steeple View Drive is vacant land. 1143 is also vacant land. 1144 is also vacant land. 1146 is vacant land. 1146 is a residential house. 1148 is also residential house. Following that, the anti-monotony regulations. So this is the mandatory criteria for the house that it cannot be similar to any other single family resident in this neighborhood. The window and trim and doors should be the same. Building materials should be identical or similar materials used. The roof overhangs and the garage placement. There was no issue with the garage placement within this neighborhood. And then, so staff recommendation for 1145 Steeple View Drive, the AC should consider whether the material used and overall design of the proposed structure aligns with the character of new construction projects for the village along Grove. The proposed materials are used for the other homes of the subdivision. The AC should comment on the overall design as presented. The comments of the AC will be taken into consideration with any other required action. The resident also utilizes more than 4 techniques to differentiate houses in the Steeple View Estates neighborhood as required in the anti-monotony regulations. The proposed single-family resident uses a unique architectural style that is different from the current residents in the neighborhood. The type of building materials used to construct this proposed resident uses distinctive materials and a vibrant brick color. The roof height and orientation are one of a kind and will stand out against the other residents in the Steeple View Estates neighborhood. Is there any other slide that you'd like me to go back to review?
Can I ask a question? Is the brick on this building, is it going to be full-size brick, right? It's not like a glue-on brick.
That's correct. It's a full, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I was going to pass it on to the general contractor on this project.
Yes, it is a full depth, full-size brick veneer and stone veneer as well. There are some siding elements, but it's mostly decremental trim, not necessarily lap side.
I don't know if it makes any difference, but, and I don't know if I need to recuse myself, but my lot backs up to the south end of this lot. Do I need to recuse myself on any votes?
I would say you do not have to recuse yourself, John.
Okay.
I don't have any issue with it.
To give some further comment, I guess, before maybe we have or take any questions. So we were presented with a little bit of a unique task in that the client has some ties to Mr. Lazar. Is it South or North Carolina? I'm sorry, but
Would be North Carolina.
North Carolina. So there are some styles that he likes when he visits down there. He does have family there. He wanted to incorporate some of those design elements into his home here. He really likes the neighborhood, really wants to live there. And I think we came together on a design that we all really come together and liked. We're trying to blend some of that North Carolina design, Southern style, colonial with some more modern architecture as well. But the materials do comply with the neighborhood. It's a brick veneer. There are some stone elements as well. Not really much siding at all, mostly just, like I said, just decorative. We do have traditional soffits and overhangs and some decorative crown molding around windows and limestone as well. So we are blending some old and new, and this is hopefully something that is well taken.
It's funny you should say that, because I noticed right away when I saw the house that running the brick all the way up to the gable top is something you normally see in North Carolina.
That was the goal, so thank you.
What are the, I took a drive through the neighborhood and I not sure that I noticed so much on this lot, but there seemed to be a lot of mature trees there, and I did notice some mature oak trees. Are there any mature oak trees on this lot?
There are. To give you, I guess, further background on that, we've had an extensive design process to make sure that we are preserving as many trees, whether preserved or not, on the site. There are, I want to say, 2 to 3 actual oaks, bur oaks, on the property. Originally, this house was flipped so that the driveway was on the, if you're looking at the front facade, the right, but doing that forced us to cut down more trees than we really liked. Those trees are really mature. They're pretty, and we wanted to preserve those. And it also creates a good buffer between neighbors as well. We've done a little bit of cleaning up as far as, brush on site, but nothing has been removed as far for what we need to be removed for the footprint of the home, which would be soon, as soon as building permits are approved.
So are you losing any oak?
Yeah, so there's one dead oak tree that we are removing. This has been reviewed by the village arborist as well. We are complying, and we would be replanting trees if necessary, or paying the fine. But we've spent a lot of time to make sure that we are keeping as many trees as possible.
Great. Perfect. Thank you. Well, I think it's a nice addition to the neighborhood. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Alan,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
go on. It's a very handsome exterior, both front and rear. Noted that there don't appear to be any windows on the east and west side. Is there a specific reason why that is basically all doors and masonry?
Yeah, so
Consider that.
the east side has a garage, so predominant of that elevation, is not conducive to windows. There is a bedroom there. There's a big north facing window in that bedroom, and I'd want to say that part of the reason for not putting a window on that facade was that there really was no location to place a bed. And then going to the west elevation, I want to say it was a similar design issue, right? Where, it's a bathroom and a bedroom, so we always have to plan for a spot for a bed. We thought the windows were more important to have in the front. It's a little bit more dominant, and then a little bit more privacy from your neighbors as well to not have windows on the side. But
I like the way you put overhangs on the gable ends. It's funny because when we reviewed Sunset Grove, it's one thing I myself missed over there on the Sunset Food building, where the gable end should have been a little bit of an overhang to give some reveal. But every time I go by it, I curse myself. But it's a good look.
yeah, we do prefer a little bit of a molding to hide the soffit from the other facade, rather than just a box. I think it's a nice little touch.
I couldn't quite understand, why is the chimney so big? Is there more than one fireplace going up that?
In the rear,
Yeah,
yes, so it is, yes, it's a back-to-back fireplace. There's one in the indoor, one in the outdoor in the covered patio. I don't think it's actually shown with a box on the elevation, but since it's back-to-back, you do need quite a bit of depth for that box, but yeah, that would explain the depth of it. And obviously you do not want to share or have a see-through fireplace when it's indoor outdoor. So it's kind of limited with our options there.
got it. How far is the building going to be above the existing grade?
So it's roughly 3 to 4 feet, depending on the area. Because the rear of the property is higher than the front, we do need to we do need to change some grading as well. So from the road, I want to say it's 5 feet. But yeah, from the rear, it's pretty close to grade, existing grade.
Are the dog houses on the roof? Those are just for decoration, right?
Yes, those are decorative dormers. Yep.
Excuse me, John, did you say dog houses?
That's kind of what I refer to them as.
That's a new one for me. I've heard of dog trots, but I've never heard of a dog house.
Yeah, when they're small like that, and they do it usually for decoration, it just takes on the look of a dog house, that's all.
Interesting. So they are not functional, they're just decorative.
Correct. This is, it is a ranch, so it doesn't really make sense to get any natural light from those.
I like it a lot. I think it'll be a good, good addition to the neighborhood.
I do too. Any other questions or comments from the
When are you
commissioners?
planning to complete this?
I'm sorry, maybe I missed that.
When are you planning to complete this?
So we have submitted our first building permit review. We've received comments. We were waiting for this review to address the comments. We should be submitting a little bit later this week. Hopefully that's a relatively quick process, and we should be starting mid-March and towards the end of March. And this is usually a around an 8 to 10 month construction timeline. Probably more like 10 months in current conditions, but
One of the things you might want to check, actually, before you start digging, there is a storm sewer line that runs from the golf course, runs right through my property, and might be running right through, the foundation of this house. I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but be advised that you may run into it, or maybe if you can get somebody to mark it for you so you could dig around it without disturbing it. I don't know how deep it is at that point, but it's definitely something that drains the golf course in heavy rains. And it used to run to the lake, but I don't know, I think it runs short of the lake now.
so if you're referring to the storm structure that the previous developer installed, then if I'm correct, it's actually hugging the west property line, so it shouldn't interrupt their foundation. But if it's something
No.
else that I wasn't aware of, maybe
Yes,
not.
there's something else. It's that has nothing to do with the storm sewer that comes from the golf course.
Okay.
I can
then I'll
show
be- yeah.
somebody, if you ever come out, I can show you where I think it comes out at. It used to come out in the small little pond, but I don't know where it's at now. We had it marked at one time. I know I marked it on my property. I know where it hits the property line about, but it could possibly run, and I'm not sure, run right through the foundation of this building. And again, I don't know how deep it is or whatever. It'd probably be worth, having it marked before you dig.
And it's an active structure or storm line, or that
It
that
is,
you're aware
yeah.
of? Okay.
It is. Yeah, it's not a very good one, does it? It does get clogged periodically. And when it does, the golf course takes on a pretty good flood. And so they periodically have to have somebody come out and blow it out or rot it out. And it's something to take in consideration, because after you get your house built and all of a sudden the golf course starts flooding, you're gonna have some problems from the golf course, I would imagine.
Yep, that would not be a call I would like to hear from Mr. Lazara. So yeah, we will definitely look further into it.
If you ever come out, you can just come over to my house and I can show you where it hits the property line. And then from there, you can have a
Okay.
pretty good idea where it runs.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments by the commissioners or petitioners?
No, I like it a lot. I think, I was definitely right away struck kind of with that southern feel to it. And I think, in comparison to the other houses that are in that particular subdivision, I think it kind of helps it stand out a little bit and bring a little bit of a different feel, different look to the overall neighborhood. I think it's pretty good.
If there are no other comments, if someone would like to make a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the architectural proposal for 1145 Steeple View Drive.
A second.
All right, roll call vote. Reuter,
Aye.
Marshall,
Aye.
Akins,
Aye.
Mikolijek,
Aye.
Sylvester.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. Well, thank you all for your time.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
guys.
good evening.
Also, you,
Have a good
just
night.
so that you know, you don't have to remain on the Zoom or on the call if you don't wish to hear the rest of the meeting. Feel free to sign off. But thank you again, and and welcome to Long Grove.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Looking forward.
So then moving on to item 3 on the agenda, which is consideration of a request for signage for the Soft Wave Fish Company at 3976 Illinois Route 22 within the B2 Commercial District, submitted by Mr. Bob DePalma. Jennifer, would you like to give us some background on this, please?
Yes, so this is for 3976 Illinois Route 22 for the Southway Fish Co. It's for a sign. This is the location map of the B2 Commercial District. Here is the aerial. This business is located within the strip mall within this B2 Commercial District. So today they are requesting a sign, which is a total square footage of 21.7 square feet. The materials is made, it's aluminum with navy and light blue lettering. It is illuminated and they're only requesting one sign. And this is the proposed sign and where it will be located. So it's kind of brief, but staff recommendation for 3976 Illinois Route 22, the Southway Fish Co. The property is located at 3976 Illinois Route 22 within the B2 Commercial District. The proposed illuminated wall sign is simple and to be professionally constructed by Only Signs Inc. In Geneva, Illinois. Other signs located in the B2 Commercial District are created out of the same material. The design is clean with a modern font and fits well within the commercial district. Based upon the total square footage of the leasable space, the request is within the square footage limitation for signage at this location. If the AC approves the signage request, a minor amendment to the Long Grove Commons PUD will be processed to allow for illuminated signs within the Long Grove PUD or Long Grove Commons PUD. Subject to the AC approval of any proposed signage, an ordinance memorializing the amendment would then be reviewed by the village board for final approval. So now I'll pass it along to Bob, who is the business owner, if you guys have any questions for him.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's the lighting, Bob, on this gonna be? On the
Okay,
sign?
I believe in the proposal, and I'll be very honest with you. My sign builder bailed out on me tonight, so I think it was in the specs of the proposal, so I think it's gonna be LED lighting.
We have those materials.
The material should be in the staff report. So it's aluminum with navy blue and light blue lighting.
We don't have any specs about the lighting.
And all it says on here is the LED module.
From what I understand, it's the same lighting that several of the other lights in the complex has. I think it's
Yes,
on
and
the proposal, yeah.
I did speak to the sign company and they did do a sign, I believe, for the Midwest grooming. And that also is basically the same design with also the LED module. So there
looking
are
at the
other illuminated signs.
Looking at the diagram, it looks like the sign is backlit. Is that right?
Correct.
The signs in this development are generally, I think, treated a little bit differently, which is why legislatively there's a difference. Because it is so dark in that area and along 22, it's so dark. So the signs that are generally allowed here are different than those that would be allowed certainly in the downtown business district and perhaps in the Sunset Grove. Is that correct, Greg?
Sorry about that. Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Madam Chair.
It's very, very dark along 22, particularly in the winter. And so I think as a result, the Village of Long Grove has recognized that and has allowed visually brighter signs on this development to attract the attention of
And again,
cars,
it is
business
consistent with what currently exists over there.
right, and was consistent, I believe, with Smoke and Teas, which is
That's
where
correct.
this will be. Is that right? Where
Yes.
Smoke and Teas was, right. Will you have a drive-up window like Smoke and Teas did?
We will. It's the same window exactly, and all we need to do is replace the poster on the inside and a nice clean sheet of plexiglass. So
Great.
is that the one you're referring to, the drive-up sign?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wait, excuse me, drive-up sign, did you say?
Yeah, there's
Sign.
two. Well, if I remember right, the Smoke and Tea had a sign on that facade as well. And then they have this drive-up sign as well. The one on the facade, we're considering it maybe at a later date, but not right now.
Okay.
Is it a full restaurant?
It's kind of a new concept. We have, my background real quick is I do farmers markets. We've been doing it for 10 years. So it's an extension of our farmers markets where we do fresh fish, smoked fish, kind of crab cakes, spreads, things like that. As I've been telling my customers, we decided to get stupid and open a restaurant now and add sandwiches and soups and things like that. So I have 2 tables. Most of my business has been carryouts or my customers coming from the markets. And, you know, people have been responding nicely to it, even using the drive-through.
Great.
Did I answer the
What
question?
is a soft wave fish?
What is it?
Yeah,
Well, it's the name of my company that we've been using for the markets for the last 10 years. So people ask me how I got that name. I kind of refer to it as we were listening to Jimmy Buffett and drinking some wine and it just came about. So, yeah. We can get you a hat when we get them in if you want.
So, assuming, I don't know anything about the channel letters, but I'm assuming that the mounting device for the sign is the same as the mounting devices for the sign that this is replacing.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's just replacing the sign there. And it's all gonna be in, I guess, line with the sign that's at the groomers next door. And then I believe the dental one is very similar to it as well.
And the sign will cover any previous holes or anything that was there?
Absolutely, we're gonna, you know, make it as pretty as we can.
Laura, does this typical UL channel letter set look good to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, we just wanted
Easy
to
to
be,
read.
what's that? I'm sorry?
It's very easy to read,
Right, we want to kind of do a little blue, like oceany type of thing too.
right?
I think it's very attractive and it's kind of appealing with the blue shadow line below the letters or adjacent to them.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I like it. I like the clip corners. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good, it's a nice looking sign. I think it fits in well with the color of the building and like I said, it's pretty easy to read, and with it being backlit, I think it'll come off really well.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Well, if there are no objections, then if someone would like to make a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second the motion.
Okay, roll call vote. Marshall,
Yes.
Reuter,
Yes.
Akins,
Aye.
Mikolajek,
Aye.
Sylvester.
Aye,
Motion passes.
you're all set.
Thank you guys very much. I
Good luck.
appreciate it.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck to you,
I hope to
And
see you, I hope you see it by there. So, yeah, a lot of people are
for sure.
coming in. So thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So we are moving on to other business on the agenda. Nothing is specific on the agenda, but Greg, can you give us an update on the Omen Greenhouse property?
I'd like to give you two other updates first, and then I've got some slides that Taylor's going to put up. I'd like you to see regarding the Onan property.
Great.
First of all, there's 3 properties that are looking to be redeveloped in the business district. Some plans are with the planning department already. A lease is being secured on one of the properties. It was either done today or tomorrow. It will likely come because it's in the B1 district before the AC. It's 225 Robert Parker Coffin. It's going to be a coffee and bagel shop. 405
Excuse me, what is it replacing?
Clover that used to be there. Clover, right behind Bobby.
Clover.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then 405, the old doghouse, is going to be a hot dog restaurant from what we're being told right now. And 407 is going to be a loose tea shop and to sit down and have tea. There's still some issues that have to be worked out with the upstairs of that property, but those 3 are in motion right now. So I'm just making the AC aware of that because again, it's in the B1 district.
Excuse me, what is the tea shop replacing?
407 would have been not Mangles. It was right next to the doghouse. Was that the baby store that was there at one time?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was that baby store.
Okay, those are all great.
Yep, that's definitely good news. The board did pass to the PCZBA the self-storage facility at the corner of 53 and Lake Cook Road on the northwest corner. It's an odd lot, so this is well suited for that property. The planning commission will look at it and then send it back to the board. Mr. Gallo's referral to the AC made a recommendation based on the approval of the PCZBA. Planning Commission made their recommendation to the village board. The village board will be discussing the Gallo property. That's 3992 over in the orchards from the last commission meeting. That'll go before the village board on this Tuesday for discussion.
So it will go to the village board. Can you tell us again what happened to it before it will go to the village board?
The zoning board approved an amendment to the PUD for the front load garage.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then we have the Onan property. So I'll ask Taylor to put up some drawings and I'll talk my way through this.
Okay, before you do that, if you don't mind me interrupting one more time, what's with these 1900 houses on Steeple View Drive? Or were we aware that there were 2 houses there built in 1900?
Yes.
We
Yeah,
were.
there's,
I was not.
so they're pre-existing the subdivision, obviously, so there's one off of, is that 22? No. Jess, do you have the slide
Are they
Um,
currently occupied?
Yes.
One is currently occupied. The other one was a barn that was converted to a house. I understand there's some work being done and that's being looked into, but two different houses, kind of one old farm estate essentially.
As soon as Jessica said 1900, Gene, I knew that was going to raise your eyebrows.
I like keeping my finger on the pulse of these historic houses.
So this is the only picture I could find, and it was through the Lake County documents. So this is the house that's located at 1128, and I was unable to find a picture of this resident.
$1128, and what's the other address?
It's the same thing, 1128 Illinois Route 53, and then the other property is 1128B, Illinois Route 53.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Okay, thank you.
So
Okay,
we're still having complications with the owning property, getting them to move as quickly as I think all of us would want to see them move. But so let me show you what we found. And we had an aerial shot taken of the property. And as you can see, there are a total of 18 buildings on the property. Initially, we thought it was 5. We went back in and did an aerial and looked at these properties. And so we have 18 of them. The owner of the property is suggesting that he wants to keep some of the buildings constructed or keep them from being raised. We are making that a point of contention. We don't want to see those buildings standing. They're certainly beyond repair. You see building 14 and 15 up on this drawing. 15 is a single family home, 14 is a garage. We could see those two properties that are occupied being maintained and not being raised, but buildings 1 through 13 and then 16, 17, and 18. We're going back to the administrative hearing officer in April. That's when we can next get on that docket for this and requesting they all be raised. Can you bring up the next pictures just so the commission can see some of the photos that were recently taken out there? And I know the commission and members of the commission have been talking about this property for a long time, but I mean, this is horrible. And you certainly know it because you brought it to my predecessor's attention, but there's no way in at least from our perspective, and we see that any of this is salvageable. And quite honestly, to some extent on some of those buildings, they're actually dangerous. And I think Chairperson Sylvester had said about the potential glass falling and some of the structure falling. So he is still doing some work over there to take care of the initial buildings we had discussed. We had 2 buildings and then we added 3 more, but we're now going for all but the single family home and the garage. So like anything else, when it comes to property rights are always looked at very closely by the courts and by administrative hearing officers. But we're continue to be aggressive moving on this. We're going to start talking again about revisiting the fines that are associated with this because we have reason to believe that some feet are being drug as it pertained to the Commonwealth Edison and getting the permits from ComEd. So we're addressing that as well. Mundeleins Code Enforcement building department is all over this, and they've been keeping me up to date. We talk about it at least once a week, if not more. But I wanted to provide the commission with an update.
Would community support help the effort?
I, it's not from the support of, it's not going to help with the village board simply because the village board shares the exact same position that the community does on this.
I didn't mean the village board. I meant with the hearing officer.
Let me look into that and get back. I don't know this hearing officer. I don't know this system over here. Not well enough yet, but let me make that inquiry.
Could you tell me when the next hearing date is?
I can get that to you, Gina. It's I want to say the second Tuesday in April, but let me verify that for you.
I would like to know that and the location of the hearing.
You got it. I can send it out to the entire commission if you'd like.
I'm very surprised that the residents of Briarcrest have not made this more of an issue up until this.
I mean, that's a good point because we have talked about that when this property owner wanted to talk about mixed use development and Briarcrest became aware of it, they said they certainly wanted a say in what that development was going to be, what it was going to look like. And with the exception of just a couple residents over there, I've heard more from our commission than I have from those residents, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that update.
Yeah, it's not, I know it's not the news we had hoped for, but we're not sitting on our hands with it. We're eager to get this off our plates and make sure what needs to be done with that property is done.
We all appreciate that. Thank you. At the last meeting, there was a question raised about the bridge. Any updates with that?
As far as nobody's hit it.
Good
So
thing.
yeah, I'm taking that as a positive. That, it's one of the first things I check on my voicemail when I get in the office in the morning. So, but
What is the number now? 22 times?
no, it was, I know that it was 13 and then my first 6 weeks here, it got hit 4 more times somewhere in there. So it was 17 and we get the occasional hit now, but the metal on the top is slowing them down. So they're not destroying the structure. So it's, I like to refer to it as the sardine key can, with the old sardine cans with the key, and that's happened with it. But all seems to be well with the bridge at this point in time. So
Okay.
no change.
Question for the chair. Did the chair review the bridge design when it was, did it ever get brought before you guys?
No, it did not. Unfortunately, the only thing we were asked to do was to take a look at the paint color and provide input on the color that it was painted. Full disclosure, I do some consulting work for the architectural firm that did a little bit of work with it, with the bridge. And it was, I believe, their opinion that everyone knows it's the underlying structure really that's of the historic significance, and that the wooden top is really of no historic significance. So the fact that the wooden structure keeps getting hit is not, is unfortunate and regrettable, but from what I hear, doesn't really impact the structure of the bridge, which is what is historically significant. But no, to answer your question, it did not come before us. The only thing we were asked to do was give some input about our choice of paint color. I personally asked if there was any historic precedent for whatever among the 5 choices that we were given, and I was told there was none. So I think we just picked an aesthetically pleasing color, but that was it.
So nobody knows why they made it 12 inches smaller?
That's the extent of anything we have ever had to do with the bridge. So this commission, I don't know if it's because of legislatively our role has been defined, or it's just tradition, but we are looking into ways of expanding our role through the community, and I think it would be a good thing to involve particularly someone with your experience in a more expanded role. And I don't know why it was designed that way. I have no idea. But that is certainly something I think that that the village would benefit from hearing more from you on.
So I don't know if you know, but Bob Coffin was the guy who drew up the plans for the wooden structure. And that was like in 1972. And fortunately, he passed on before they got it rebuilt and hit 22 times.
Unfortunately, I don't know any more about it. You know more about it than we do. I think that the village is exploring ways into making it a little safer from getting hit. But Greg, maybe, you know, you would know more about that than us.
We're exploring options, we've had an engineer and electrician look for overhead detection devices. And we've got some proposals in front of us currently that both the engineer and myself have reviewed. We're getting to review it. We're getting ready to review it with the legislative body. We talk about 22 times it was hit, and it astounds me. And certainly I've only been here, a little over 7 months, so I can't speak to the history of why the bridge took the reduction in height, or, what was behind that. But yeah, it's definitely a concern. It certainly doesn't give us good publicity as a community, and that bridge is part of our brand. So I know the board's concerned about how we best protect that as well.
What's concerning to me is that it's become more of a joke. And I went to, I tried to shop in downtown Long Grove, and I went and I needed to bring a gift to someone who I was meeting, and I went to the candy shop. And I'm sorry to say that the candy shop now calls itself the Broken Bridge Candy Shop. And it was disappointing. There was no sign. We didn't prove sign for that, but that's the logo on all the labels and everything else inside the store. So I think, if I'd like to turn that around too, see if there isn't something else that we can do. Clearly, an historic bridge was not designed to accommodate large trucks, and this shouldn't be also. So, but if, the village was willing to listen to other people and you have some ideas, I'm sure they would love to hear them, John.
Yeah, I was on the ad hoc committee that tried to come up with some ideas, and, the electric eye was one of them. And then, of course, once the electric eye notices that the truck is too high, how do you stop it from continuing on?
I think the GPS it's been taken off of GPS, isn't that right?
Oh, oh, really?
Yes, we've contacted Google and a couple other firms to have it taken out of the directions when they're giving directions.
Something, but I don't know.
Perhaps that accounts why it hasn't been hit for several months.
Yeah. Did you guys approve the Broken Bridge sign?
There wasn't a sign on the outside of the store. It's just a logo that's being used inside the store. I don't know what the status is of the actual business, but it's all over the inside of the store. And I don't know, it's just like, it's not funny, but
It's not a new business. They just changed names.
I'm not sure.
Oh.
So it's where it's in the Red Barn building, where I think it was originally it was the Long Grove Chocolate Company.
Yep.
Then I think it was Mork's, right?
Yep.
That's where it is. It's in there downstairs. So in any event, it's one more thing. Any demolition requests come in?
No, it has been quiet on that front. There is language being put together in the ordinance to make some some tweaks to the ordinance, but it's also going to allow review on demos to come to this committee as well.
Great. Thank you for that. Wonderful. Okay. Well, I don't have anything else. Anyone else? No? So the next regularly scheduled meeting then will be March 21st, 2022.
I won't be there. I should be in the Maldives.
You really got to make this meeting, Laura.
If I'm there, that means that one of us got COVID and we couldn't travel. So I'm trying to not, I'm a substitute over at Stevenson and now it's the mask optional starting tomorrow.
Ah,
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take a few days off and see how it goes first.
And I too may not be available on March 21st. I won't know until prior.
We may want to think about rescheduling that meeting, perhaps for the week before, the week after. I will be out of town, but I am planning on being at the meeting. I don't know about John, but otherwise that would leave 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a quorum? Yeah,
4 would be okay. We'll have to find out if John will be there.
just so the commission knows, the village president and I had a discussion today about the mask mandate being lifted by the governor on February 28th. And it may give cause for us to return to hybrid meetings at Village Hall. So certainly we'll make sure everybody knows about that, but we could be back in person again, so.
Okay. How would we handle that, Taylor or Jennifer, if John will not be in town? Do you reach out to him and ask, or?
Yeah, we can reach out to John to see if he's able to attend the next meeting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Like I said, I will be out of town, but I am planning on assuming, well, if we can Zoom that meeting, I will be there. If not, I wouldn't. So. Okay. Okay, great. Well, that's very exciting about all of these new businesses coming in. I think the restaurants are great and very positive, and I think good things are happening.
Is that hot dog place one time we were approving a hot dog place, do you remember?
We did talk about that. We did approve a hot dog. Did they not move in?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, it's not the same one, is it?
No.
I don't remember what the name of it.
Well, it may be. Is it Terry Upton's business?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I know there was discussion of some time back for a similar restaurant, and then it stopped. It stopped in its tracks, and I don't know if it's the same.
No, they were gonna call it the Dog House or something.
Yeah, that's what this one's called.
Oh. Because it
Maybe-
looked really cute at the time, remember?
Could be resurrected then, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's all very good. I think it's going to be a good summer. Things are happening. It's good. So if anyone would like to make a motion to adjourn,
I
So
motion to
moved.
adjourn.
So quick.
second, anyone? Can
I
someone
can't
second?
second it by first.
Second.
Okay,
So it was so moved. So we're then like second.
All right, roll call, Mikolajek,
Here,
Reuter,
Here.
Akins,
Here,
Marshall,
Here.
Sylvester,
aye.
passes.
okay, so the last name is, think of it, Nicole, and then Logic, Mikologic.
Mikologic.
There you go.
All right, mine's Wagrin, and there's a Z and a Y in there too, but I don't know how to speak Polish, so.
Neither do I. I'm Italian, so I pronounce it my way, and I don't pronounce it the Polish way.
Well, I'll try my best next time, and same goes
It's
for
okay.
Jean too. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah.
Thank you
Taylor,
for-
Jessica,
Maura.
thank you.
Thank you for coming for us. So, thank you, everyone.
Good
Have a
night.
good evening.
thank you.
And again, welcome, John. We are so pleased to have you and all of your experience. It's really, really helpful and very gratifying that you're volunteering.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Couldn't be happier about it.
Have a great night, everyone.
Thank
Good
you. Good
Good night.
night. Good March.
Good night.